So if you have an app idea and you want to design it first for free, then Google Stitch is a great choice for you. But there is a problem. By default, Google Stitch generates very bad design. But there is a solution. By following a very simple step, you can actually turn this bad design into a good design. And in this video, I'm going to show you that exact step that you can follow. So let's get started. So the first time you land on Stitch with google.com, you see this page, Design at the Speed of AI, and you have to enter the prompt and also select the platform for which you want to build the app for. So in this case, you can select between app and web. I'm going to show you how to build it for web. So I'm going to select web, and I'm going to start with a very simple prompt saying, I want to build a marketplace app for agents. So we already built this app with this landing page with different versions. So I have that spec detailed in here. But first I want to give it a simple prompt and I want to see what it builds. So once you're done with this prompts, I'm going to hit generate and it should take me to the studio. So the first time you click on generate, you'll land in this page with some default projects. These are not my project. So I landed in here first time and you have to basically click on generate again. Not a great UX. So you just have to click on generate again in here and then it will finally start generating the app for you and take you to the canvas. So now let's look at the canvas area for Google Stitch. On the top left corner, you can see the status of your chat, and in the center bottom usual your chat interface, and also on the bottom left corner you have the different agent log or sort of like a version of your design. So every time you iterate a design, you will see a version in here so that you can go back between different version of your design that you are iterating. And on the top right, you have the export option, share option. In the middle of the right side, you have different option. You can basically annotate on the top right, you can basically annotate, or you can also have direct edit tool, you have panning tool, and you also can upload files to canvas. And you also have the design system. Since we do not have any design system designed yet, it will show up in here. We'll look into that shortly. So let's see what it's trying to do. So it's generated a plan. This sounds like an exciting project. A marketplace for AI agents is a complex and fascinating space. To create a comprehensive foundation for this app, I'm thinking we should start with this key screen to cover the core user journey. Landing page, agent discovery search, a robust browsing experience with filters, category capability, price, and search functionality. Agent detail page, user dashboard. And how does this plan sound to you? I can adjust the list if you have other specific features in mind. So it's trying to build other parts of the app as well, but I don't want to focus on that. I just want to focus on the landing page. So I'm going to say, just generate the landing page for now. Hit enter. Now it's teaching. So it's going to now generate the app and takes a couple of minutes. So as you can see, it's now generating the page. So first it's doing is it's building the design system, which is like the core part of using Stitch. So it's built the design system. You can see it also gives it a name so that you can reference it back. It generated the color palette, headline sizes, button variants, and other necessary components. We're going to look into that shortly. So mapping out, now it's mapping out the component, and now it's going to the next step is designing the final scene, right? Now it's generating the landing page itself. So the landing page design is done. And if you look into the design, it's not looking great. So the agent says, I've designed the landing page for your AI agent marketplace. I started by building a Ether logic design system, a dark high contrast aesthetics with neon accents. By default, it's always generating this neon kind of designs. I do not know why. I do not like it that much, but most of the design agents are generating this kind of UI, which looks terrible. So anyway, so it says that the landing page features a bold hero section, a curated gallery of featured agents, a clear section highlighting security and scalability. So let's look at the section. This is the hero section. There's a clearly generated image, not looking good. And you have the vetted intelligence. You can see copywriter and different kind of intelligence, sort of like a marketplace highlights, scale with ease, vetted experts, customer review, final CTA, and the footer. The designs are very average. I would say even lower than average. This is not great design at all. Very cookie cutter AI agent generated design. So what I'm going to do is, I do not like the copy or the content of this page, right? If you're starting from scratch, the best idea is to generate a spec sheet for you so that you can use that to actually generate at least the layout or the content of your landing page or your product first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a specs that I defined for this product in a previous video and use that and ask it to iterate or improve the landing page content and the layout first, and then we'll look at how to improve the design. I'm going to copy this spec sheet and I'm going to paste it in here, and I'm going to say adjust. So I'm pasting in the spec markdown and I'm saying adjust the landing page accordingly and hit enter. Now it's going to generate a different version for this. So you can see on the bottom right corner, it's now working on a different version, SkillForge design spec. So every time you can basically go back to the each variants that you're generating, which is a very handy. I like this. That gives you the ability to modify each version by default. So I generated the new landing page based on our PRD, and you can see it says, and now it's a little bit closer to what we want to build, but still not as good as the version that we generated using Cloud Code. So let us first look into this generated version by Stitch and we'll look at the other version. So this is the marketplace for AI agents and skills and plugins. There is a AI generated image of a person, obviously it's sort of like an agent. The solution, this picture looks scary. I don't know why it generated something like that, but the content itself is much more closer to our PRD now, like collaborative forging, interface guardless, global SDK, one marketplace, one-click deployment, and categories, trending agents, top market artisans, people who are selling the best agents, also sort of like a also customer feedback, pricing section, FAQ, final CTA, and of course the footer. So if you look at the version that Claude generated, the design was updated by me a little bit, but everything was generated by Claude, and you can see the structure of this page is much better, right? It looks much more professional than the one that Stitch generated. Even if you ignore the design for this, you can see the structure of the page is much more cohesive and much better than what Stitch generated, right? By the way, you can always go back to your previous version if you don't like a particular version. So this is on our latest version. You can go back to click on any past variant and it will immediately go there, and they're all saved in the same canvas. So I'm going to now see how you can improve the design. I'm not gonna focus too much on the content layout. Point of this video is to show you how you can improve the design. You can always basically go to each section and ask it to improve the layout or the content of that section. So how do we improve the design of this terrible landing page? So for this, we have to build either our own design.md, which we did for this product, for this landing page, but that requires you a lot of work. You have to basically take a lot of screenshots and then have it analyzed by Claude and create your own design.md file, or sort of like a markdown that you can basically incorporates all of your design philosophies, the color, typography, spacing, every other important aspects of design. But there is also another website that you can go to. It's called getdesign.md. It's a free tool. You don't have to pay anything. They basically have a repository of all the leading design system of very big websites. So for example, I may like, I don't know, maybe Stripe. They have a Stripe as well. They have all the other big companies. So I'm going to just copy Stripe for now, because I think Stripe has a very good design. So when you click on Stripe, you'll see the design system of Stripe is laid out in here. So what you have to do, you can either install it in your code base using npx getdesign at latest at Stripe, basically running this command, or you can get the design.md file directly from here. So I'm going to click on copy, and it will copy the design system in your clipboard, and you can go back to Stitch now and basically paste this design.md file. So I pasted it, and I'm going to say update the landing page according to this. So I'm going to click enter, and while it generates, you can basically look into the structure of the design.md file. It basically has a visual theme and atmosphere. It's defining how your product should feel and how it should look. Sort of like, is it gonna be a light mode? How it's gonna feel? So if you read it here, Stripe website is the gold standard of fintech design, a system that manages to feel simultaneously technical and luxurious, precise and warm. Sort of like how your product should feel. And then also have the key characteristics, color palettes, roles, typography rules, component stylings, layout principles, depth and elevation, sort of like your shadows, and do's and don'ts, which is important as well. How it should behave in different devices, size point, especially for web apps. For mobile apps, you will just have one breakpoint, so that should not be a big problem for you. And then you have the agent prompt guide that is also included as well. So this is a very good structure, and they say this is how basically the agents generate the UI as well. Breakdown of design helps the agents to visualize your design or the vision more. So basically you can take this design system and then add your own touch, or you're adding your own feel and update the design.md file to get your own look. But this actually helps you get a good starting point from the beginning rather than working on this very bad design that Stitch generates. So if I go to Stitch, I think it's now generating the new version. Yep. So you can see it's already captured the design system. It called it hyperlane, but you can see the design is much closer to Stripe, the buttons and colors and everything. And it's also generating the light variant of the page. So that's a good thing. So it updated the landing page according to the design.md file. And you can see the design already looking much better. So first it's updated the design system based on Stripe's design system guide that getdesign.md provides. And then you have the site. Now it's in light mode, which is great. This is what we wanted, because that's how Stripe is also in light mode as well. So you can see the title, and you can see the client section and the problem section. So the features, you also have the features, just looking great. But the image quality is not that great, but it's looking better than it's definitely looking better than before. Then you have the core solution. You got the different steps, features, the pricing section, FAQ, final CTA, and also the footer. So you can, if you compare the design side, right, this was the design that is generated beforehand, and this is what it generated after the design.md file. So the design is already looking a lot better than before, but you can definitely keep on improving it and give it direction. But it basically gives you a very good starting point rather than this very common UI pattern that Stitch generates. And then you can basically go ahead and generate other pages for you. For example, if I ask it to generate a dashboard, like now I'm going to ask it to generate a dashboard as well, basically the next page, something that I want. Maybe you want a different page. So for this you can also select different design system, right? So this is the design system that is generated. Hyperlane is the latest design system that we generated based on Stripe. So I'm going to select that. You can select different one if you think the previous version design system version was better, and then basically use that same design system to keep generating different pages for you. So I'm going to click on enter, and it's going to generate a dashboard for me, and we're going to see how it looks. So it generated the dashboard section. You can see it's now incorporating the design system that we generated. The cards are looking much better, the fonts are looking better. So it just generated the dashboard as well, and it's also incorporating our Stripe inspired design as well. You can just keep iterating this same thing for your different features, and you're gonna get the same results. But first, basically try to get the initial version of your design.md incorporated into it, and then generate the hyperlane in here. For that, like I said, first go to getdesign.md. It's a free tool, you don't have to pay anything. If you want to build your custom, you have to basically ask them and you have to pay for them. But for all the other design systems that they already have, those are free, you don't have to pay for them. Just pick on and then work on them based on your liking, upgrade them based on your liking, and then generate the design.md and continue creating the rest of the features of your app, and you should have a consistent looking branding throughout the app. So this is like the core idea of improving the initial bad design without spending too much time on the design feedbacks, rather than utilizing already existing design system. That is, so try utilizing this, and once you are happy with your design or happy with your page, you can basically select it and you can export it. You can export it in AI Studio, you can export it in Figma if you want to hand it over to a design team, or you can basically just click on ship and download it it will basically give you a index.html file that you can preview in your browser, and a screenshot of this page, and also a design.md file, which is like the most important file for your agents if you're trying to improve this, or if you want to transfer this existing design philosophy to your agent. So you can use that to improve your design further if you're using Cloud Code or Codex or any stuff, coding agents like that. So that's everything you need to know to improve your design on Google Stitch. Obviously the designs are not as polished as you expect them to be. I feel like Cloud Code generates much better design than Google Stitch, honestly, and it's much more predictable as well. Stitch is not that reliable. Sometimes it generates good design, sometimes it doesn't. So you can obviously explore other tools for design as well, like Cloud Design and Figma Make. I'm going to make a video about them as well, so those should help you out as well, and we'll see how they compared to how Stitch is generating the design. So that was it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.